Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. I am so happy to have you here with me today. Welcome in, empaths. Welcome in, divine feminines. Welcome in, divine masculines seeking clarity. Welcome in, spirit. So, today, what they have guided me to do, which is something that's kind of outside of what I would want to normally do, is take a really deep dive. And I have been seeing the engagement and this period of being broken, especially during a pandemic, and what that would mean for some of us that are going through this. The thing that's interesting to me is that in this period, in this situation, there are so many other things that we rightfully should be paying attention to, right? And we should, like, the world is in a state of really having to be alert, and we're protecting our families and ourselves. But some of us, in the midst of this too, because of the soul contracts that we signed and the promises that we made, we're going through a separation. And what I want you to understand is that the universe, great and wise, God in his infinite wisdom power, God in the infinite of all wisdom and power, understands that we need guidance with this too. So if you are drawn to readers that are doing this work right now, you're not selfish. This is self-care. Okay, so now that we've gotten the church announcements out of the way, I want you to come with me, because they said that we were going to connect. And for the tribe that matriculates in, this will be food and manna for your spirit. It's going to be very specific, and it will feel like it's a personal reading. That's what I want you to understand. And I don't usually make those kind of guarantees, y'all, because that is not my business. But when my angels say, let's get this right, I want to get it right for you. So, all right. I want you guys to relax. We're going to call on Archangel Anel of love, as well as Archangel Gabriel, who deals with clear communication. I want to be able to convey these messages in a timely manner, Lord. The service is only going to last 30 minutes, y'all. And that is because the good Lord saw fit to make sure that I only had so much space to do so today. So this is what it is. All right, guys, let's see what's coming up here. All right. Page of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Pentacles, the Fool, the World. Gonna lay down my burdens, Ten of Wands, the anxiety, the sleepless nights. So much going on here. Wow. Divine Masculine has been busy. Okay. Oh, okay, two. We're juggling with Two of Pentacles. Some malicious, purposeful, I know what I'm doing, getting away with it, Five of Swords energy. Y'all, they're just telling a story. They're telling tales out of school, aren't they? Page of Cups. Okay. And what they want to come in as, which is, oh, but it's upside down. Oh, girl. Okay. Okay. So it's upside down. I don't usually read in verses, so that was one that they wanted us to see for a reason, and we're going to do the detective work. All right, guys. Let me pull a couple signifiers here and see what they've got for us. So far, it looks like what we're having is a revelation about who our Divine Masculine was for some of us and who they weren't for us. So even though this feels like this is a situation where, okay, you were being asked to be in a space of nurturing and holding the Divine Masculine, they're asking you to have some real release. They want to confirm that this was an actual thing that happened and it wasn't just a figment of your imagination. Some of you guys I'm hearing are asking, is this what was supposed to happen? Because I don't feel like this feels good. I don't feel like this is what I would have signed up for. I don't feel like I would have wanted to come back into this. And what they're saying is that you did sign up for this. and you asked for it. Why did we ask for it? Well, this card says because this was a soul flame. Because this is a commitment that we made. So that's why we asked for it. Let's see. What else are they going to tell us about? It was a soul flame. It was a commitment. Because needed to happen. Nurturing. I already started here. Queen of Cups. How nurturing were we? Were we too nurturing? What else is this connection about? Trust. Passion. End of an era. You are stronger than you know. Birth. What are we birthing after that? Spiritual growth. Okay. Leadership. Yes. What are some messages that we need to have? Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Have you been wanting to throw those barbs? Because I see a lot of swords here. We start off with the Page of Swords. I'm going to remove these cards and we're going to get into it. But I wanted you to see that your angels love you so much that even in this time of sadness and depression and anger and self-introspection, that you are still being guided, and they're having a beautiful conversation with you about your true purpose in this situation. So if you're wanting to throw those words, they said throw them first at yourself. Not in the way that we empaths and absorb everything, but this energy, this twin flame and or soulmate connection is something that you guys are mirroring one another with. So even though this is, I mean, when I don't know, I maybe should have put a disclaimer on the video, because it doesn't matter if you think that you were innocent in this situation. We came in to learn lessons. And yes, we are sometimes on the painful side. Divine Feminine, if you're here, you're on the painful side. You wouldn't even have found my video if you did not connect to the vibration. But we're coming out of this, and they say you have to come out and you have to be stronger. They talk about here leadership as one of the reasons that you're to come out of this. And this is Gabriel. Remember, I asked for Gabriel to come in as we began. It's time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. So we're in this time of Corona where we are being asked to step away from other humans. How could you guide others? And that, your angels say, is what we're asking you to tune into. This is not supposed to be time that's whittled away. Time is accelerating, and we are feeling our realities in a different way. It's almost like there's been a glitch in the matrix. Pardon me, guys. It's almost like there's been a glitch in the matrix. And because of that, we find ourselves at this most interesting time to have decided to have this experience, which is all encompassing, with this other experience, which is all encompassing, the pandemic versus the soul mate loss. It is such a profound pain. It's like, how could we lose each other during this time? And I'm so glad you found your way here, but they say the reason is because you will teach other people about navigating the emotional highways and byways that you have gotten so good at driving, my divine feminines, my empaths. You had to figure out things in the dark because divine masculine wasn't giving you any answers. And you had to become your greatest self and best detective. And you did. And you thought, okay, my reward is I can fix it. I can reach in. But they said, we do want you to fix things and reach in, but just not on that person right now. They said, any pain, any fire that we put you through to forge you and to strengthen you will require you to rise to a new level of leadership. You guys understand? Next card, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. What happens when you start to take that leadership? Transformation happens. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Well, you may ask, how can I be having transformation? Because this hurts. This is awful. This is lonely. And they said that is transformation. How could it deepen if we're separated is also another question you want to ask yourselves. And I hear it. How could it deepen if we're separated? Well, now you understand that these were not sweet words you told each other after a good laugh session or nice things you said after a few glasses of wine. These are principal spiritual truths. These are universal truths. This energy that you are operating in exists, and it exists in a way where you both had showed up to it and been there and been participating and tilling the soil until one of you were not. Divine Feminines, if you're here, you know which one that was. So, in that, there had to be transformation. We were patient, huh? We were patient. We waited. We wondered, why was this happening? How am I going to get through it? How am I going to get through it? And they said, you will. So let's work backwards just for a couple minutes and let's talk quickly about this story, and then we'll end it with a few more clarifiers. Okay, my loves. Okay. So good. They have my attention here. You are stronger than you know. You are stronger than you know, and this is something that we forget. In what I think, if we're revealing the truth here, a codependent relationship. Can we talk about what the truth is of the soulmated energy? Can we lift the veil on that? Because I feel like people are forgetting that if you're in this energy, there is an element of codependency. And if you are doing your work, your angels are not going to let you rest on your laurels and just not evolve just because you're comfy. They're going to make you uncomfortable because you've doubted if you were strong enough. You weren't trusting what the universe was saying. You weren't listening to your intuitive nudges. You didn't think you could do it by yourself, and they come back, but you're strong enough. Trust us. You're strong enough. Trust us. You're strong enough. It's real, guys. Let's take a look at what's going on here. All right, first we come through with Page of Swords. So, your divine masculine was not being honest and was playing kind of cavalier, petty games, not taking things too seriously, and not really feeding into the relationship. And it caused you to have some distractions that were about work. You felt like, here's the thing that people forget about divine feminine words, please, is that we are deeply empathic, we are deeply psychic and intuitive. So you felt the winds of change coming. So all this time you spent with divine masculine, you've been able to pour into all of their shenanigans and it was fine. And then something started happening for you and you were like, okay, well, I've got to manage this. I've got to do this. Let's talk about a parallel that they just revealed to me. If you've ever accused your divine masculine of not being able to handle things in their life or juggle, and you've felt resentment about that because you're like, I have to juggle so many things in order to make sure you have everything that you need, because that's codependency. Let's talk about it under the surface. Then it's really important to understand that you are mirroring them, because this is what we got to do, is we have to dive deep. You can't just be like, oh, they're terrible, and then watch these videos and then just kind of like emotionally masturbate about it. You got to do the work. That's what we're going to do. So you were mirroring them regarding your career, work, finances, a blow up that was happening for you in a good way. It wasn't bad. It was about mastery. And as I'm looking at this in the collective, whoever's watching this was like, I am about my business, ma'am and sir. I want every coin that is promised to me. I want the refunds that are due unto me. You want to move forward with your energy. And you're like, okay, well, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. I can't pass it up. I've been waiting. I've been working my whole life. Where have you been all my life? And that is why you had to really put your energy. So while you're over here saying, well, you're not, okay, why am I going to do Ken and Barbie? Well, you're not paying attention because you're juggling. And what's happening is they're saying, well, you're not paying attention because you're juggling. They're in our business today. So then you said, you know what? New opportunity, the Fool card. Let's just see what this is all about. Yes, we're going to go into it. And we go into it. We jump off that cliff thinking we have an idea, and we do. And then we find ourselves juggling. But see, when soulmates have work to do, the juggle, the distraction, we have been taking it as a negative. What they're downloading to me is it's the best thing that will ever happen to you guys. Because in other way, if you stayed, you would have been stuck in a karmic cycle, that in a loop, and never accelerating and never growing. Now, divine feminines, you know, it is the job of the divine feminine to elevate the divine masculine's thinking. So that way they are looking at things spiritually, because when you're in a masculine energy, I want you to associate it with King of Cups. So King of Cups comes in, he knows what he wants, he can have anything he wants, he knows he's whatever he is, he knows what his charms are, he knows what his aesthetics are, and he knows how to balance these things. He's also prudent and a slow thinker in about being methodical. So when you're dealing with this energy, that's divine masculine, okay? So when you see that come up in your spreads, understand that as well. That's what you're looking at. It's so important that you guys learn this too, so you can sometimes decipher these readings that you're getting while you're here online, and understand that we're asked to use our intuition too. So sometimes I'm watching a read and I'll think, oh, that means this, but that's always what our translation is doing. So understand, sorry, sidebar, my teacher comes out, understand who King of Cups is. That's your divine masculine. He is not able to really understand the vision that you saw for this. And so you nurtured him along. And that's why I think the card of nurture comes up here as well. But because the juggling was happening and he wasn't getting the message, then we have the world. It's time to graduate, because you had somewhere to go. You had somewhere to be. And you were like, I'm not missing. I'm not going to miss my opportunity, because now I figured out that divine masculine is purposely trying to hurt me. Not like something happened or I accidentally fell into a situation, but like now I know that the situation bothers you. Why does divine masculine know that the situation bothers you? Because you were vulnerable and you said, listen, I can deal with so many things, but this is the one thing that I don't think I can deal with. And they were like, oh, really? Let me see. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. Mind games, playing games, gaslighting, all of that behavior that happens in codependent relationships. Can we call it what it is? And you said, I'm going to lay down the burdens. I'm going to move forward. They came in. They had a little bit of an olive branch. It wasn't much, Knight of Wands, but in a reverse, and I don't usually read reversals. But they had an olive branch. That's cool. But it was BS. They were not taking accountability for a single thing that they did. The way that they played games, knew what was happening, had the affair, cheated, lied, stole, had side issues, side isms, addictions, side bitches. All of that. All of the things on the side, and you're holding this connection so near and so dear to your energy, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna be the best divine feminine that you can be. And then you both are in this period, and I almost want to just keep rotating the card, because this is anxiety. This is the buffering as we are separated, and we want to be able to understand what was going on with one another. This is the buffering. This is just us turning in circles. Neither one of us wanting to budge, because our fangs were bared. Why were they bared? Because of the betrayal. See, you were juggling, they were juggling, but you guys were juggling very different things. Very different things. You were juggling for the success and the progression of the relationship, to be able to take them into a life, or yourselves into a life that you guys had only dreamed about. They were juggling with, well, y'all, my southern mint julep jumped out. They were juggling with manure. They were juggling with manure. But you were juggling with coins, with wealth, with mastery, with ascension. You wanted to take them. They didn't want to go. Let's see why they didn't want to go, and we're going to finish this up, y'all. Now I'm southern. Oh, they didn't want to go because it was a good old karmic completion. Now, this is interesting, because if we're divine feminine and they're divine masculine, the karmic, that was that third party. That was that. Now, completion. So you might be jumping for joy. Well, oh my gosh, it's not going to work with their karmic. It'll work in the way that it needs to work with their karmic in order for them to get their karmic completion. What is that? When karma visits them. I know that sounds so ridiculously not kind, but karma never loses an address. So while they were gaslighting and telling you that you were crazy and imagining all of the stuff that happened in the third party situation, guess what else happened? You got smarter. You got better. You developed self-mastery. You were practicing your layups. You were getting ready for a moment, because this had to happen. They could have never learned that lesson with you, because divine feminines, can we be honest? How deeply do we love our divine masculine? beyond ourselves in an unhealthy way. If you're supposed to grow and be a leader, how do you get there? If you are so in love with someone else, you're not loving yourself. Yeah? So this had to come to an end for you to figure out what you won't take. And what you didn't want to take was being lied to, third party, being treated like you were not a part of their lives, and someone that was oblivious and all of their projections. So they said, but and that's 10. 10 is endings, guys. Pay attention to your numbers at the top of the cards as well. Why did they need you to move on? Because they wanted you to be part of this world, teaching and learning. Remember what they said at the beginning, that you're in a position of leadership, teaching and learning. It's time for you to share some of the things that are valuable about you. It may not be this lesson. Everybody's not going to be teaching this lesson, but what is the thing, your passion you've been holding yourself back from because you've been carrying the dreams and energies and everything of your divine masculine? That's what your angels are asking you. They said it's time to do this. Remember what we talked about as we looked into the tarot? What did it say? It said we were in a position where we had a once in a lifetime opportunity and we couldn't slow down just because they were feeling bad. You know, us women, we keep it moving. You know, the defined feminine energy. We have to keep moving. I can't handle all of that with you at this moment because it is time for what? Change. It's time for the adventure of my lifetime because I've carried so many adventures and or stories and or crises of your lifetime. Hashtag codependency. When's it my turn? 5-5, time for change. Look up that angel number, 555. If you're seeing that, understand that as a confirmation from your angels that we are on the threshold of growth. And why? What are we growing towards? So what's all this pain for? Just for money? I don't just want money. I want satisfaction, happiness, and you want this. Domestic harmony. See, if you had this relationship, this was a relationship in whatever form, even if you had individual spouses and outside people, you all understand as divine feminines that whatever was going on, whatever body your partner incarnated into, whatever life and family they had, you were together. You were each other's person. And so if this happened, there wasn't domestic harmony when you're dealing with this Five of Swords guy. You would have never been happy. They would have never been happy. There was something in your divine masculine that caused them to sabotage happiness because they couldn't believe that you were true or that you existed. Understand that. And so remember we talked about the mirroring. Now they wrap it up. If we're mirroring each other, we wanted domestic harmony and felt that they were juggling. They felt that we were juggling. But they juggled themselves two big piles of that manure, right? What are they going to get from that? Well, you could actually turn that into something to grow in, but there's a lot of processing. What do you get from walking through the gauntlet and choosing the higher vibration, divine feminine? Is you get your domestic harmony, or you get your job and career that you were chasing, or you get whatever it is that you've been manifesting. That is what happens when you juggle on a higher vibration. So yes, we miss our divine masculines. And yes, we're in a pandemic. And yes, the world is topsy-turvy. But do not think for a second that growth is not still happening for you and that you cannot walk into a future where you are manifesting the thing you wanted because you were willing to be brave enough to withstand the pain at one of the most intense times in this universe cycle to move forward. The rewards are going to be abundant, divine feminine, but you have to take care of yourself. Go through this pain. I'm going to walk through it with you, and we're going to continue to evolve together.